In today's video, I'm going to be testing 3D Super Puff Heat Transfer Vinyl from Vinyl and Tool Supply. They sent over a standard color and a metallic puff. If you're anything like me, Puff HTV can be a bit of a challenge. I've heard great things about this one though, so I can't wait to see how it works, and let's get into it. For Puff HTV, you need very heavy pressure, so I'm using my standard heat press machine. The settings I'll use for both is 280 degrees for 10 seconds. First, I'm doing a test cut. I'm usually bad about doing this, but I didn't have a ton of material, so I wanted to make sure I didn't mess it up. I chose a star shape, and I'm using the everyday iron-on setting with more pressure. This we did great, so we are good to go. You'll want to place this carrier sheet side down. To check that, take a weeding tool and peel a tiny piece of the corner. You'll be able to see that clear carrier sheet. The Cricut machine will cut out the design, then I'll weed the excess vinyl. I'd love to hear your experience with Puff HTV in the comments. I've always found it to be very tricky, so like I said, I'm really excited to see how this is going to go. This weeded so smoothly, I had no issues with weeding it at all. I also like that the vinyl just felt thin, which I always find it easier to weed that way. I'm going to add this to a t-shirt I had in my craft room. This one is made of 60% cotton and 40% polyester. What I'm going to do first is preheat the t-shirt. This will get all the moisture out, it will get the wrinkles out, and this is especially helpful when you're working with Puff HTV. I do this for about 10 seconds. I'll use my t-shirt alignment guide to line up the design on the shirt. I move the t-shirt off the heat plate. You don't want to have any of those creases in there. You want the surface to be as flat as possible. I forgot to show me twisting the knob on my heat press. I just twist it to the right to make sure it's a firm pressure. I want it to be a little tough to press it down. I didn't use a Teflon sheet for this. I lifted the heat press when the timer was done. This is a warm peel, so I could peel the carrier sheet right off. Here's my reaction.
Wow.
This puffed up so much. I've never had Puff HTV puff up that well before, so I'll show you a closer look. Here I'll show it a little better on camera. I've tried several different brands of Puff HTV over time. Up until now, my best results were with the Caesar brand. I do have a video on that I can link, but this one beats that. This is exactly how I'd expect Puff HTV to look. You can see a little bit of the shirt's texture coming through, and that's actually a good thing. It means the press was good and it's going to hold up well on the fabric. What you don't want is that weird brainy texture some Puff gets, and this doesn't have that. I am so thrilled with how this turned out. This is 100% going to be my new go-to for Puff HTV. Next, let's try the metallic Super Puff. You'll want to place this carrier side down as well. On their website, it says shiny side up, if I'm looking at that correctly, and they both look shiny to me, so that's why I just go with where the carrier sheet is. This weeded really well also. The metallic color is so beautiful. I'm going to preheat this t-shirt. I folded it in half to find the center. I had to loosen the heat press a little bit since it was folded in half to be able to get the heat press to close. I like to do this to find the exact center of the t-shirt. I forgot to do it with the last shirt. This shirt is made of 90% cotton and 10% polyester. I'll be doing 2 presses for this. The first one, I won't use any type of cover sheet. I had tightened the heat press again and it was still a little too tight, so I loosened it just barely to make sure I can get this closed. After the first press, it didn't seem to puff up much, but I will be pressing it again. Online, it says to slowly peel this while it's cool, so I'm letting this cool down first. This time, you'll want to place a Teflon sheet on top, and I will press this for another 10 seconds. Online, it says 8 to 10 seconds. After the second press, it did puff up more, so I will show you a close-up of it. So here's the results of the metallic 3D Super Puff, and first off, can we talk about the color? It is gorgeous, such a pretty metallic shade. It definitely did puff up, and I think it looks so great. I would just say it's not quite as puffy as the first one. I'm wondering if it might be user error on my part. I've seen other people online get an even puffier result with the same vinyl, so I'm definitely curious to experiment a little bit more. Overall, I am super excited about this product. I will not be buying any other brand from now on. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 3D Super Puff. Have you tried this particular vinyl? Let me know in the comments. I'll have all the links down in the description box, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.